Hey, this is Marlon from marlonmcpherson.com. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the best website platform to start your business website on. The reason why I'm making this video is so that you can make a more informed decision about your business website's platform, because you don't want to go down the line and run into issues or make the wrong decision where it's going to cost you a lot of time and money to rectify. So I want to make sure that you have all the options laid out in front of you and you understand what you are doing when you make that leap into building your website, which is an essential part of your online business. So let's talk about different ways of building websites before we jump into the platforms here. So there are two ways in which you can build a website. There is the traditional older way, which is hand coding, which requires you to actually know computer code such as HTML and CSS. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then clearly this is something that is not for you. And it's not for me either. I'm not a coder. I know enough to help myself and to get by, but I'm more of a designer. So I actually help people to learn more about how to do websites without actually having to know any code whatsoever, which brings me to the next way that you can actually do a website, which is by using a CMS, a content management system, which is really a software, a web application that you can run that allows you to manage all the assets on your website. It allows you to organize everything quite nicely into a nice graphical user interface that you can log into and see all your site files, your pages, and for you to manage and create your pages that way with a visual interface rather than having to know any code, which means that you're going to have to write all this computer code behind the scenes to be able to actually build your web pages. So now that you understand the differences between hand coding HTML sites and a CMS, let's talk about the CMS options, which is what I recommend if you're going to start a new business website today that you're going to have to publish content on or set up your shopping cart and that sort of thing. So there are two categories that you could use. You could utilize what's called a hosted solution, which is going to be like an all-in-one under sort of like a company umbrella. These are your Wixes, your Squarespace, and your Weebly sites. These are companies that are actually handling everything for you. They allow you to build out the site on their platform, and basically you pay them a monthly fee, and they allow you to get certain amount of service from them, and they manage the back end of the site in terms of making sure that the site is up and running. And if you have any issues, you can give them a call or you can email them. They've got a support team, and that's great. Now, the reason why I wouldn't recommend this for everyone is because what I don't like is that they actually all have their own proprietary software. So you can't exactly move your website from one to the other with ease. If you wanted to say come off of Squarespace, if you've got a site on Squarespace, you would most likely have to rebuild the entire site from scratch on the other platform that you want to move to. So flexibility in terms of backing up and exporting your files and just universally importing them back into a new software isn't really an option right now. So that's quite restrictive. And on top of that, you don't have all the flexibility that you could have and control over your entire website. So you can't exactly create that ultimate website that you'd love to make. If it is that they offer the features and the plugins and the extra features that you need, then that's absolutely fine. But sometimes you might need something a bit more advanced. And if there isn't support for it by, let's say, a third-party company that does a piece of software that allows you to add functionality to your website, maybe the platform you're on, let's say you're on Squarespace, Weebly, or whichever one, maybe they don't have integrations between the two, and that could be a problem. It's more like a closed platform, and they only give you the tools and the systems that they allow you to have on those systems. So Wix and all these ones, they give you nice page builders, and they give you all these extra stuff, the features that you would typically need in a website, but you're quite restricted in terms of what you can actually do with your website. Now let's talk about unhosted solutions. Now, unhosted, what I'm referring to as unhosted, are platforms that allow you to have maximum control over your website. So you don't have to worry about, okay, am I going to be locked into this system? Am I going to basically not have the flexibility? So all the things that I talked about with a hosted solution. Now, the difference is the unhosted solution means that you have to find your own website host. And this is a good thing, because what you can do is you can build your website on one of these open unhosted platforms. And then if you decide to move your website, you could go from host to host. So there are lots of hosting companies out there that allows you to keep your website on their servers, and you pay them a fee, whether yearly or monthly. But the thing is, you're not locked into their system. It's not like a proprietary system. You can move between hosts, and that makes the options out there available to you in terms of price and in terms of features a lot more appealing. There are multiple platforms that you could use as an unhosted solution, but the one that I actually recommend and use is WordPress. Now, WordPress, here are the reasons why I think is the best platform to start your website on today. One is that it's open source, and what that means is that it's free for anyone to use and contribute to its development. There's a whole team of people behind it who actually makes sure that the software gets updated, and anyone can actually create extensions and plugins to give it additional functionality. Reason number two for using WordPress is that it has literally thousands of plugins and extensions that you can add to your site to give you additional functionality. You can just about build any type of website using WordPress. So there's plugins that you can use to add a shopping cart. You can add an online store. You can take bookings on your site. You can turn it into an online learning platform. All of these things are available to you. So for most websites, you have a plugin that can give you that functionality that you need. And where you don't have a plugin available, there's a large community of developers that support WordPress. So you can always find a developer that can give you that custom tweak or that custom functionality that you need if you have a WordPress website. The third reason why you'd want to use WordPress is because it's got a very large user base. Actually, 30% of the websites online that you see are being run by WordPress, and this includes big sites, reputable sites like sites from ABC, BBC, even Beyonce, I think, have a WordPress website as well on one of her sites. Just go into Google and type in what sites are using WordPress, and you'll see a whole list of sites that are very large. So from small to medium size to large businesses or organizations, you can use WordPress. And the fact that so many people are using it, it means that you have a large community that can support each other. Anything that you need to find out or learn about WordPress, there's always forums and content that you can find information about WordPress. You won't ever be stuck and feeling like there's no solution out there. So that's what I love about WordPress. Anything that I run into, I can always find out how to do whatever I need to do. And there's always somebody out there somewhere that can help you do it. Now, if you're completely new to starting your website, I have a free website guide. Just head over to marlonmcpherson.com/website guide, and you can go ahead and download that guide. I'll walk you through all the things that you need to consider and have in place when you're starting a new website project. So I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll pop it up on screen here as well. If you'd like to learn more about WordPress, web design, and website strategy, I'm going to leave a video up on screen for you to click and continue watching. This would be a playlist that I've put together that talks about this topic. So I'll see you in there.